That's nice. So this is the scene of the wedding last night. I missed it all for some special circumstances. I wasn't in the action, didn't see any details, and well, it was very noisy until they had the music going till 1 a.m. And these are some of the remains. It was just funny walking along here now. Somebody forgot this here. But a mosquito went in or a little fly, and had a whiskey bath, probably not to their good. It's beautiful to see how many details are preparing a great celebration. How many people worked? There were so many people here yesterday working on these things. So many people. It was really amazing. Just thinking about our lives, how many people work together to make our lives happen. Behind the scenes, the truck drivers, the technical guys, the people putting the plates on the table, the cloths, the napkins, the flowers, the chairs, the choices. And then afterwards, how many people are going to clean up and wash the glasses. And it happens every day in our homes. So many people are serving, and not just within the home itself, but all the people outside the home that are serving our homes, preparing food, packaging it, delivering it, preparing the electricity. And we never see their faces. And it's good to have these exercises. I was really astonished yesterday about over the amount of people, the number of people here that were setting up this whole celebration yesterday. And that many people come together to prepare. And then there were so many people at the event itself. But this is human life. This is society. It's something wonderful. And it's done with the spirit of service. And there are a couple of levels of service going on, because the person that's setting the table, putting out the plates, or setting up the physical table itself, or taking it off the truck, they're also earning a salary to feed their family. So they're serving their own family, and they're also serving somebody through helping to prepare one detail of a million details of a wedding celebration. And this spirit of service is such a great treasure, a great gift we have in our lives. It's a great way to be human. And it's good that we ponder that, because there's a lot of satisfaction in that. It makes us happy because we're made to love. And if we realize how much is really, really working well in that sense, because we're serving all the people at the supermarket. And it's not just the girl at the desk, but the guys that are stacking up all the shelves, the ones who brought the food into the supermarket, the ones out in the back, the ones hosing down the yard, the ones, just so many different things. A supervisor. It's not a very gratifying job to be a supervisor. Oftentimes you have to be pointing out issues that have to be fixed, and none of us like to be corrected. So there's so much in life, so much service, so much self-giving. And done with that love, if we're aware of that, we will be so filled with joy. Because when we're filled with that kind of joy, we won't need to buy joy. You can't buy joy. You can't buy by fulfillment and happiness. And the happiness is truly in serving others. And now we think of that couple as they go off and start their married life and how they will be serving each other with thousands of details like they never did before, because they're sharing their life completely together, and they'll be looking out for each other in a marvelous way. And there'll be the excitement of the first days and weeks and months together. And then there will be the boring part when they get used to each other and it's no longer a fresh thing. They'll be used to each other. They'll be used to each other's shortcomings and failings. And then that'll be a test also of charity, to bear with them and to help each other to continue growing as human beings. And all of this fits in so well with the readings today. The readings today are absolutely wonderful in that sense. There's two dimensions in the readings today, if you will. There's the extreme damage, and then there's the small damage. Some that causes a lot of hurt. It all does really when we look at it. I'm going to go to the readings for you today because the words are very beautiful. You could take the readings from a negative point of view, but for example, in the first reading there, it's the opposition of evil-minded people towards a good person. And that happens also in our world today a lot. It happens. It's kind of hard to cover it up and to deny it. But there's also the reading of James's letter. Where jealousy and selfish ambition exist, there is disorder and every foul practice. So that's the other side of life. What we were just talking about all along is not about jealousy and selfish ambition, but it's about serving the other and building up their lives. And then who isn't free of some little bit of jealousy? Who isn't free of some little bit of ambition, selfish ambition? Because ambition in itself is good, to grow, to bear fruit in abundance, to progress in knowledge, to accomplish more things, to help more people. All of these are beautiful ambitions, beautiful purpose, beautiful focus of life, you know. But this line is interesting, isn't it? Where jealousy and selfish ambition exist, there is disorder and every foul practice. And you see, in the preparation of the wedding, it was all about serving. So, there was just really a lot of hard work done by a lot of people. And that's a different type of milieu, a different type of interior attitude. But the wisdom from above is first of all pure, peaceable, gentle, compliant, full of mercy and good fruits, without inconstancy or insincerity. And the fruit of righteousness is sown in peace for those who cultivate peace. Where do the wars and where do the conflicts come from? Is it not from your own passions that make war within your members? It's a very interesting critique of human behavior. And I think it's good to see it now in the context with which we just did, of something beautiful that happened, a beautiful wedding celebration. Because our whole life is about doing something beautiful. A beautiful celebration. Which we're preparing the most beautiful celebration ever, the wedding feast in heaven. The marriage feast of the Lamb. This is the great goal of our lives. Preparing this marriage feast of the Lamb. These are real works of art, aren't they? And there's so much chemistry, so much detail also in these things, so much biology, so much physics, so much design, architecture. And there's an interesting contrast going on in the gospel today. Jesus talking about his upcoming passion and death and resurrection. And it's an introductory type of moment, Jesus introducing the disciples more and more to this, because this is where his messianic work is going to peak. And the disciples at the same time are arguing who is the greatest. Do you remember that song, anything you can do, I can do better? You know? We have this kind of ambition, who's the greatest? Who jumps higher, who runs faster? Children, siblings. And there's usually an unfair disadvantage because the older one can do more than the younger one. And then the child has to learn that it's not about that. It's about, I was the oldest, okay? It's about all the siblings, and everyone is in their place and in their circumstance and their condition. If anyone wishes to be the first, then he shall be the last and servant of all. And taking a child, he placed the child in their midst, and putting his arms around it, he said to them, whoever receives one child such as this in my name receives me. And that one line of Jesus has produced so much fruit. It's amazing. How many works of kindness for children have been inspired by that scene of the gospel? How many schools, how many orphanages, how many hospitals, how many works of kindness. It changed our culture to appreciate the child. The child can't produce much. The child requires tremendous patience and kindness of the parents. And because they love, they can do it. Our great teachers, children in kindergarten, and right up teenage years, sometimes difficult moments for kids. Whoever receives one child such as this in my name receives me. Jesus identifies himself totally with these children. Here, look at all these beautiful capers. There are lots of them, and this just all appeared in the last couple of weeks, as this plant was completely wiped out and it really flourished quickly. I love these flowers. They're so delicate, so tender. In a certain sense, that's a little bit our life, all these insects in there. Our lives are so delicate and so tender, and ambitions and envy can do so much damage. And the morning glory is creeping up through the capers. We saw a lot of flowers this morning, the bougainvillea. So people, thank you for joining us this morning. It's been wonderful here at the Sea of Galilee. Sunrise stroll and chat. We're just strolling around, just chatting, and letting all this light pour into our minds, our hearts, our souls from God's Word and from the beauty of creation. See you later, alligators. Oops. God bless you. Have a blessed Sunday as you serve the little details of your family.